A quick reminder before I start, you can buy this pack, which looks like this. This is the cover, in my online shop right now. This video is a summarized thing of my workflow. I have spent a lot of hours for it and I hope that you support my work. Today's goal is to make an MPC expansion. So how to do an MPC expansion? For this I have a very good instrument. It's a bamboo flute. It looks like this. I have found this on an African market right here. It's handmade with a very nice color and it looks really nice and it also sounds very nice. And this is the raw sound. I will make a key group out of it. So with 4 velocity layers. And I also have a synthesizer, the Lemondrop from 1010 Music. And this I will use to create a pad sound out of this flute. This video is brought to you by my sound company,
Sounds Premium.
I will sample in 4 different velocities and I will recreate this on the MPC with also 4 velocities. So every note has to be sampled. I'm gonna do that now. For the recording I go with 24-bit and 44.1 kilohertz. That's standard for sample packs. A very important thing is to have the structure and the concept of the sample pack in mind. I have already created a cover for it. So to get a feeling for it, it is very natural. It is in green like the flute. And this is the cover. It looks like this. And with this you got a good mood already how the sound will be. So the name, it is Bamboo Dream Flute. This is the name. So this is the concept. And I had several things in mind. And now I will go in the process of making it. I'm recording with a condenser mic in stereo to have a very good stereo field for this flute to pick up the sound of the room, so it's not very dead sounding. And so I'm going with this condenser mic in this case. At the moment you can just hear my camera microphone, but I'm using the condenser mic, but this doesn't matter, it's just for presentation. And you are going to hear the results very soon. And I'm also thinking about how close I am to the mic. So the closer I am, the more isolated is the instrument. So the farther I get away from the microphone, the more room sound will be picked up. And I go for 2 things. So one with a very close distance and one with a farther distance. So with 4 velocities each. So I'm going to record right now. So now I'm going for the very close distance. I will start with the lowest velocity and go up to the highest velocity. What I have to keep in mind is to record the sound very long so that I can loop the flute, so that it can be played endless, you know. This I will do on the MPC later on. I will go for about 4 to 5 or maybe 6 seconds for every sound sample. So the next step will be noise reduction. For this I'm going to use RX7 from Isotope. Now I have my recording and there you can see I got silence between the notes that I have played. So this is very important because here I can analyze the noise profile. I will mark a bigger part of the silence right here, going to spectral denoise, and I hit learn. And now I have a noise profile in orange, and now it is very important that I stay below this noise profile to reduce the noise. So this is very important. I go to preview and I can hit output noise only to just hear the noise. If you got headphones on, you can listen to it and you can see the gray curve right here. It's below the orange curve. And now I uncheck output noise only, and I can of course adjust the parameters, the threshold, the reduction and everything. If I have artifact control, or if I would like to have artifact control, I can also change the parameter right here. I can smooth it out, and there are a lot of settings, even advanced settings, but I don't want to go into detail right here because it would take too much time. The quality is at best. That is very important. This is what I do every time before I edit my files in my DAW. And now I will hit save to save this noise profile. I hit the sign in the middle, add preset, and I call it Bamboo Flute. I'm doing this, and now I hit enter. And now I have the noise profile, which is called Bamboo Flute. So I can find it very quickly. I close this one here. And now I go to my recordings. This is very important because I always make sure that I don't overwrite something, so that I can go back a further step or a few steps if I do something wrong. I go into my recordings, raw recordings. I add a new folder, and this folder I will call noise reduction. So the original files I will keep right here just in case. Then I go to the batch processing module. I close this file. I don't save this. I go to Window Batch Processing. I can now add my files. They are right here. I hit open, and now I'm adding a step, a processing step. It's spectral denoise, and with a preset that is called Bamboo Flute. There it is. And now I can copy the results to a folder. I choose the folder. It is right here. It is in my Bamboo Dream Flute, noise reduction, okay. And I will keep same file name. Set output options, it is WAV file format, and no dithering. I hit OK, and now I hit process. And now I'm processing all the files that I have selected. So I don't have to open every file, and this is saving a lot of time. So this is a real time saver, and this is very good because with this I can work very efficiently. So there it is. 2 files are already succeeded, and the remaining 2 are ready now. So I can close this, and now my new files are directly here. So now I can continue with the next step. The next step will be to open up my DAW. I'm using Studio One for that, to do the cutting, doing some fade-ins and fade-outs. And in addition to that, I will do some EQing. So first of all, we had the noise reduction after the recording, and now I'm going to do the editing to have very nice samples with a nice beginning and a nice ending. And I will add several effects. It's up to taste. So I want to have a good sounding result, very warm sounding flute. This is what I'm going to do next. And yeah, for this I'm going to have some sound examples that will show up in this video, of course. Yeah, now I'm in Studio One, and here I have my audio recordings. And what is very important before I edit everything, I will add EQing, I will add some compression and some things that should be into my sounds as essential editing that should always remain in the recording. So I go there and I just listen to a melody that I played to EQ it, and I will listen to it. yeah, this is just some playing that I have something to EQ. And from here I will go to my mixer and I will insert from isotope, for example, neutron 3. This is what I will use right here. Now I have set up a sculptor and an equalizer. I will turn off everything. This is the raw sound. And now compare it on. Yeah, it's much clearer. And now I will add some compression to make it sound nicer. For that, I'm going to use Shap's particles, parallel particles in stereo. Adjusting the input, that this light right here is not turning to red, but to orange. Now I have a good value or a good level. Now I'm adjusting the thick parameter to make the sound thicker. Yeah, like that. Add a little bit bite, not too much. And now the sub, turn it up to 100% to find the right frequency. Go with 50%. And now I will compare it. Now it's on. Now it's off. On again. Yeah, much warmer sound. It is compressed and everything is very nice. And I think I will stick with that. Yeah, just to give it a try, I will deactivate all effects, play it raw. And now with all the effects activated, deactivated. Yeah, it sounds much clearer, much warmer, much nicer with the effects on. I will leave it like that. What I will do now, before I start editing the tunes by Melodyne to do a pitch correction, I will just export this file, do a mix down. There it is. And after this is processed, I'm going to normalize the new mix down for a certain reason. Because I don't normalize the single notes, because I don't want to destroy the velocities. That's why I hit normalize right now. Audio normalizing. There it is. Now everything is normalized and they are relatively in the right order. Velocity 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Now I have cut it and separated the notes from each other, so just the single notes, and I will divide them further, but before I do that I will edit it with Melodyne. There is Melodyne, it's like that, and I go to the algorithm, going to melodic. Okay, this is a C note, which is not perfect. It's not perfectly in tune, and now I can, yes, put it in the right tune, like that. And this I will repeat for the other notes as well. Now the next editing step is to cut all these notes and to have separate samples, clean samples, perfectly faded out with no clicks and very clean and usable sounds. Now, as you can see, I have cut every wave, different velocities, and the naming is very important. So the first one is a C note, so I have called the first file flute BDF, which stands for Bamboo Dream Flute C2 V1. V1 stands for velocity 1 because it's a lowest velocity. It goes from V1 to V4. So I copy this naming and going to the next file and rename this one to V2 and this one to V3, and well, there's a mistake, V2, V3 and V4. That's it. And the next one is the next note, C sharp 2, and so on. Now I have tagged all these files. Now I choose them all and I just drag and drop them over in the right file folder. It's a closed flute, and I will drag and drop all these files over, and there it is. I have all these files that will be generated. The same is with the file flute, and I will add also granular synthesis, so there will be more key groups. When the editing is done, the next step will be to export all these samples so that I can work with them on my MPC. How to do and how to program key groups in, for this I got a video. You can check it right here. So I have linked it up in this info box here. So click on that video, then you will see how I'm editing key groups in general. Just to summarize, I will do the editing in the MPC machine to have all the good sounds there, and then I'm going to edit it so that it feels very nicely on the pads. And what I'm also doing there is I will add some internal effects, maybe a reverb or something like this. Then you can decide on your own if you want to have that reverb or not. So that's very important. So all these effects that are wettening the sound I will add on the MPC, and then you can decide how much they should be in the sound. So it's always good to have more dry sounds and not that wet sound. So sometimes I include wet sounds as well if the sound design is desired to have these sounds exactly like they are. But in this case I want to have a natural sound because it is a flute, and it is up to taste how much reverb should be into it. Now I will send my created key group of the bamboo flute into my granular synthesizer, the Nanobox Lemondrop from 1010 Music, and I will work with the live input right here. So I go to the first oscillator and turn on the live input. Now there is coming sound into my Lemondrop. As you can see, there is a wave, but we can't hear anything because I have to turn up the volume, of course. Let's check. I will turn down some values to 0. The level is to 100%. Yeah, the level is already there, but we can't hear anything because I have to turn up the density. the grain size to 100%. I'm triggering the notes by hitting the pads of the MPC. And we need also the window size. So what granular synthesis is doing is to chop up the sound into very, very small particles and then playing them together. And I can hit freeze. So now I can move the playing position, live position. It's like that. So hit the pad. Yeah, I will turn up the volume so that you can hear it much better. Like that. Going back to the oscillator, changing some values maybe. Adding some jitter. Maybe I'm gonna detune it a little bit because I'm introducing a second and a third oscillator. Just a small amount of detune. And yeah, let's go to the third oscillator and turn up the volume right here. It's a sine waveform. I will pitch it down an octave, so -12, like that. I will try another waveform. Maybe I go with a triangle. Yeah, it sounds very mystical. Yeah, I go to the second oscillator, hit that one, that is wrong, hit that one, going to live input as well, switch it on. Turn the level up. Freeze that one as well. Level 100%. Going to the density. Yeah, moving the live position. Maybe I go to the last half of the waveform, because with the first oscillator I have had the first half, so it's getting more complex and interesting. And I will go to the window size. So the bigger the value is, the more the playing head is jumping from A to B to C to Z. And yeah, I will go for the grain size. Yeah, I have to switch the live position. Freezing it again. Pan randomly. So we have a stereo field. I will turn down the volume a little bit. To blend it together. Going to the first oscillator again. Maybe I will go to the second one and pitch it up 1 octave. And I will also detune this one as well, like the first oscillator. Detune, let's say, yeah, 13%. Wow. Sounds very interesting. It's a nice pad sound. And what will I do next? I think I will add some effects. Going to effects. Yeah, adding a chorus. That's a good thing. Yeah, less is more. I will stick with 13.9%, messing with the rate. Stick with 50%, that's okay. Going to the second effect, that's a delay, it's off. Maybe I go with a small reverb. It's way too much. Decreasing the value right here. The Deekay. Yeah, I think I have to change the envelope. Yeah, I have set it up already. Attack time, it's starting very smoothly. So maybe reduce it. There you hear the click at the beginning of the sound. So that's why I have adjusted it to about 20%. The release is at 33.7% to smooth it out at the end. So with 0 it's like that. Very crazy. So this is already adjusted because I have tried it out, but this is live. Yeah, I think this is a quite good sound. Now I have a pad sound. This I will also include in my expansion pack. I will work it out a little bit more. So now I will go into my MPC software to add EQing and all these stuff to make it sound very nice. There's a compressor already activated right here. This is off. This is on to make it a little bit more punchier. And what I can do maybe is add a filter. I will try a high pass filter. Turn it on. Going to the cutoff. Trying a low pass filter right here. Now it's very dark. So let's try it with the off setting. Yeah, I will leave it on so the highs are not that obvious and they are very smooth now. Yeah, I will stick with that. I will save that preset. Going right here, save it, flute live input. And now I'm going to fine tune everything, EQing, some compression, some effects from my MPC software. I will go with that. But yeah, I don't want to make the video that long. So I think you got an idea how much work goes into it. Please keep in mind that this video is just the speeded up version. So the process of making these sounds took a long time. So it took me a few days to create these sounds. And my other MPC expansions are more complex. I have several instruments, different ones, deeply sampled. So this time I'm going with 4 velocity layers. Some of my packs have 8 velocity layers. So this is doubling the time that it is invested in the pack. And for this pack I was going for 4 velocity layers because this flute, to be honest, 4 velocity layers is more than enough for this bamboo flute. And now I got a special going on for you. If you want to have this expansion, you can download it right now. I will put the link in the info box down below in the video description, and you can buy this pack right there for a very special price. Check out my other expansions which I have released. That's it for today. See you next Sunday. I'm out of here. Blessings.